everyone. Okay, we are live, and I'm gonna send out the
Good
nope
done,
because I don't
everybody.
know how to do that.
You don't know how to send it out to everybody, or
Yeah, the links from my phone, like I don't see the buttons, so it's all good. They'll show up. They'll be here when they're here.
okay. Well, thank you for whoever's tuning in.
Yeah.
So we have a claim this morning. Feistiness ahead. That feistiness is like, nope. Like it is like not doing that anymore. Not having it. So no worries, it's not going to be, there might be an occasional rant, but nothing negative. We're very much about the positive. So, how are you this morning, Kendra?
I am. I am.
Yeah, love it.
About myself this morning, like, why am I so feisty with you today? Like, what is going on? But, and
Well,
so
you
yeah,
did.
I feel the feisty.
Yeah, well, you did remind me because that's like Kendra. I don't see an end in sight with this feistiness. Like it just keeps. And she's like, "Well, it is Aries moon," so you did remind me that the moon
Yes.
is cycling through Aries, and we're in October, so that's Libra. So this axis or this vector of energy of solidarity, independence, and then you have Libra that's about the we, and it's about fairness and being fair and balanced. Those are different, and my heavenly place, my highest vibration or that expression of the Libra, that we, I love it, but I love my alone time. I mean, it's like both, it's accessing both at the same time. It's just timing. Sometimes I'm like, we're being pulled here, but I really want to be here. So that I can see how that creates feistiness for me in that axis of energy. And then you've got, the other axis is, you've got your wounding in Taurus, or well, for me, wounding in Taurus, and then Jupiter's over here, Saturn's over here. I mean, you got all kinds of ham going on. I
Yeah,
really
and
don't know
then
where they're at
sometimes,
right now.
yeah, and then I just feel like I'm in the middle just screaming, like, I just want to be understood. Can't even understand myself. I can't even see myself.
I don't know what I am. Sorry. I don't know what's coming through right now, but the answer is no thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the feisty for me, I feel like uh there's a part of me like throwing fits. Like I'm finding my inner child, like, I made a request, I'm not being seen, I'm not being heard. This is what I want. Why aren't you showing up? And So,
Oh, yes. I've been feeling that too. I'm like, if we choose correct or alignment, or we're choosing to move that way, but it's like, what? I have something that's been 5 years in the making, and the cycle still hasn't closed. And there's so much coming out of that 5 year portal, building, 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 building. So it just depends on which one I kind of settle my eyes into, my gaze into. Is it, do I see this perspective, or do I hold on to this perspective? And sometimes, fuck it all. I say, fuck you and fuck you. I'm out. I'm going to go watch a movie because I can't right now. I don't want to right
that
now
part.
because it's confusing. The frequencies are just like so close, right there and right there, and then you're like, and I'm like, I just get so like over it. So that feistiness starts turning into like, fuck it, whatever will be will be. Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the whole point, is whatever will be. Like, it'll happen, and it's not entirely on me. So I think that's one of the things. For 15 years I studied YouTube, listened to different self-help, listen to different concepts, and it's just little bite-sized pieces, but it's like there's so much more to it. So what? Letting go. That one, I've let go of letting go and let go. And then I started finding myself like I'm in let go mode. And maybe I should hold on to this a little bit more. Or maybe I should put my focus on this. You know what I'm saying? It can get imbalanced. So it's just fascinating. We're in the Libra energy talking about balancing. There are all these concepts. Balance it. Find that flow where it works for you. And this 5 year thing, it's like I want it. I know it works for me, but it is kind of on me. So I was throwing myself a pity party. I was like, I'm celebrating big, just. I mean, it's just like so stretching, and so I'm just enjoying it now. I got to sleep. I kind of slept, kinda. I kept waking up. And
Yeah.
you know what's crazy? I forgot to set my alarm this morning. And I sleep with my hands, tucked in because I'm out on the mountain. So we sleep in 30-degree weather. So I keep everything kind of tucked in. Kid you not, 6:30, I feel this vibration in my thumb. And I go, oh. And that's when I thought I saw a white orb in the tent. I'm like, oh, an orb. And then come to find out it's a hole from the embers last night. Thank you for the word, Kendra, for the reminder. And I was like, oh, there's a hole in our tent from the fire last night. So I was like, oh, great. And I was like, oh, what time is it? So I look at my phone. I was like, oh, thank you, Spirit. Like my thumb vibrating to let me know, get up, get up. And now, I'll be honest, I didn't just get up right that instant. I'm like looking around, thinking, and like, okay, well, what are we going to talk about? Da, da, da. Getting into the mind, trying to figure it out. And I'm like, okay, I'll get up, get moving, start the fire, get my hot drink. I make a
Yeah.
honey cacao turmeric drink. Oh, I love it. It's so, cacao is very, I need to look into more deeply what it does, but it, this has replaced coffee for me, for sure.
Yeah. I'm just drinking we won't go into what I'm drinking, but it's a hot drink too.
A special candor concoction.
Yeah. Since I've been on the fix and the fit though, I've not had coffee. I've tried it a couple times and it's just gross to me. Like my body is just like, "No, thank you."
Yeah.
So,
For me, it's not so much a no thank you. It's a subtle, oh, it's like putting dirty water in my stream, clean stream. It's weird.
right on.
So, which is fine. I've been wanting to kick it. So the Guardians are like, well, let's just kick that up high and feel this, like, because it's time, it's go time. We got stuff to do.
Yeah, speaking of stuff to do, I'm so excited. I get to be with you next weekend.
Yes, maybe we'll go live next week together.
I thought about that too. Do
And
we want to share what we're doing?
heck yeah, go for it.
We are going to the Bridge Expo in Dallas, Texas, the 17th through the 18th, 19th.
19.
Yeah. And I'm so excited. Get to go meet some really cool people we've been watching on YouTube and following and that sort of thing. Get to go mingle, meet a lot of uh like-minded individuals, like-minded friends.
Yeah. So this one I'm super excited about because it's it from what I hear, those that comprehend the more advanced sciences as and including advanced grammar writing. So a very high level dose of both worlds coming into one, even though they can't really merge, they just kind of come alongside. However, they speak to each other. So I'm curious as to how I will feel because a lot of events I go to, I am hella triggered. I'm like I don't fit in, and I feel all these weird things. And since doing a lot of healing, now I'm curious if I'll really shine now because people get it on this level. These are like the yeah, they just get it and they are putting themselves out there to make it known. However, I'm still banking on me. I'm
Heck yeah.
still focused on me and like not putting weird expectations. It still comes back to my sovereignty. And one of the teachers, Dr. Samuel B. Lee, will be there. If you ever get a chance to check him out, holy moly, he teaches along the same sciences, the Kilanta, and he does these videos. He's been doing it for quite a while. Grew up through Christianity. I mean, he said he would spend his Friday nights singing worship songs, and he loved Jesus, and now he teaches a more in-depth story. And behind all the veil, he goes behind the veil. So it's just really cool to see other people already doing, and he's the only one that I know that for what consistent. His voice, he definitely is on point with his materials, consistent, and it's morphing into you finding you. And he has like a thing where he helps you activate your 12 strand crystalline DNA. And I remember doing word studies trying to figure out what is everybody talking about crystalline DNA? What does that mean? And yeah, that's a really cool deep deep dive into yourself. And it's cool because
Hmm.
it's into you and the God in you, the Christ in you. It's a mindset and it's neurological. So it's increasing, it's the capacity to hold higher frequency in your nervous system. But I couldn't get there without the fixed jobs that helped me because I was fractured, fragmented, siphoned, hijacked, leaking, bleeding. I mean, had all kinds of loops that I didn't realize why, because I was like, oh my gosh, I would go through it emotionally, mentally. I would go through all these weird things, and and one day I got feisty and said, okay, I've had enough of this. What is going on here? I finally, that energy, that spark in me was like, ask the question, and then in came some more of those answers, and now I'm finding myself like, okay, create a course, do this and do that, and then I'm like, I'm feeling that, I'm feeling this, I don't feel qualified, I don't feel like, and then you start messing with your mind and all of it, and it's like, well, it's growing through your story
Yeah.
and teaching how to come out of it because I'm not the only one that was damaged by life here, and there's a reason why. So yeah, just gonna take a breath
Yep.
because like all of a sudden it got like hot in here, and I'm like sweating.
Well,
The
to me,
temperature doesn't regulate well in here.
oh, you got all that fire feisty going on.
Yeah.
But I feel like you said something right there, like, well, you said a lot of somethings, but and the we're all wounded. We've all been damaged. We've all that part. And, turning into you and not and feeling all of those lies, those judgments, beliefs that we've held on to. You know what I mean? Or were programmed with in the very beginning. We come in, I feel like we have generational stuff, ancestral stuff. We have our own stuff through our own story. And all of us feel these things, find these things. And it's about finding the true you within, the God spark source looking within, and unwinding all of that. And you can go through it. We're meeting people who are learning to do it in the metaphysical, esoteric, all of that, like in the different spheres and programs, paradigms, right? Like, and also taking it over to the grammar side and programming the holographic fields, the worlds that we literally like. So yeah, we're meeting some professional tin hat wearers, and those unafraid to speak and think outside of the boxes and programs and paradigms that have been given to us, narratives that have been given to us. And it's really, really cool. And it it can feel kind of isolating in a way, because you go out amongst all of the people and you're like, what? No one even know what? Like, and you feel so distant, but that they're still dealing with the same levels of triggers and programs. And like all of us are just trying to get through it. And some of us have figured out, all of the things, and some of us have not. And it's just learning to be that unconditional love, that love wherever, and, trusting in yourself and finding that. Yeah.
Well said. I love that. The professional 10 hat wearers. So funny. If we meet Rion, I'm going to.
Oh, what happened? If we meet Rion, what do you mean if? You mean when we meet? I don't know what's happening. You're frozen. But I'm definitely planning on meeting him and having face-to-face conversation with Dr. Beely and a couple of the other ones, speakers and all of the things. Who's here? Okay, there's a couple people watching. Like, what's your experience with the show right now? Can you see Christina? Am I frozen? Who's what, where? What are you seeing? Put it in the comments. Let me know what's happening for you. Hello out there. Oh, she left. So, I don't know. Dun dun dun. Is now a good time for me to get my DJ booth? My DJ booth. Hold on. Let me grab it for you because this is so fun. And by my DJ booth, it's definitely Aurora's. But it's the coolest thing. It's this cool little DJ mixer. Let me show you what it does. You ready? We're going to the DJ booth. Yeah. We ready for the music? Give it a little scratch. This is worship, y'all. So wild. You are so funniest thing of ever. I just see you. You're not frozen. Thank you for answering. Thank you, Priscilla Nicole. Priscilla Nicole, that is not how that went, but in my mind, I was scrolling and read Priscilla and then Nicole. What up, Priscilla? What up, Karina? Interesting stuff. Feel free to send Karina here some of those teachers. Right on. Yeah. I'll post them in the comments for sure. So one of the teachers we talked about on there is, if you actually just go into YT and type the Bridge Expo by the Team Light, Bridge Expo Team Light, that is the event that we're actually going to, that I'm really excited about. Um and there's an 80s dance party, which, let's be real, I can't I love hanging out with people, especially when you're all on the same level, because when you're in the seminars and stuff, sometimes it can get intimidating because of the people on the stage, there's the people on the thing, and there's that weird, but on the dance floor, we're all the same. We're all partying on the dance floor. It's Christina on the side of a mountain. Well, let's just all tune in and send her all of the best and all of the goodness, yeah, all of the love, all of the light. And let's also, oh, she's here, she's back. Let's also send some to Karina, some healing vibes to Karina.
Oh, good.
She's back.
Sorry about that. It got too hot by the fireplace. I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that. Sorry.
No worries, because I got out the DJ booth.
Yeah. Love it.
I was like, let's do some worship while she's gone.
See you later.
Oh. I could still see the lights flashing on your face.
I've been waiting to pull that thing out. All right.
Love it.
Yeah, I was like, what's happening? But Aunt, where were we? I'm all amped up for my little DJ session. Oh, we were talking about the Bridge Network. Why do I keep calling it that? That's what that's my work thing. The Bridge Network is totally a thing. But that's my work. So sorry that keeps coming out. It's the Bridge Expo, right?
Okay, now the picture is caught up. Yeah, the network. I like that.
Yes.
You're freezing.
Actually,
I hope my signal. Okay.
Yesterday,
Hello?
Can you hear me? Are we good? Is there a lag?
Yeah, a little bit. And the picture is.
Welcome to my DJ booth. Oh, that thing is so much fun for me. Welcome to the DJ booth. It's literally like on repeat in my head. I think we need to bust it back out. What happened to Christina again? She's frozen. She's like Elsa. Hello.
I'm here. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Am I back? Hello? Hello?
You are.
Okay.
She's back.
I think tried to connect to a Wi-Fi on another phone, and I'm like, no. Yeah.
Mm. I see.
I was just simply saying about the bridge, introducing, because I haven't met Rion, the one that's putting it on, Team Light, he's the head of it. There's a couple of other people that, Dr. Samuel Bealey, Tone, he's like, I've seen him do the meditation, holy moly. I'm excited to sit in on that one. Yeah. Yeah, so I just thought, professional tin hat wear, just like, I just think that would be funny. Just, I'm totally killing it, but just, I love that.
It
And
would
I feel like
totally
he
be
would
fun.
totally get it. He's that kind of personality. He would totally get it. So, yeah, you got to have fun with this because it gets heavy. It can get intense. And I'm talking about those that are that are emotionally, uh, they're grid workers. They work with the planetary collective, see that, and then it's like, holy moly, okay, let's process because our technology is in the body. What were you gonna say?
Um,
Introducing Rion and then Tone, and then there's like a lot of different characters, and then you were gonna say something.
oh, I was saying that's actually when people ask me like when I'm going to these events or networks or what am I doing? And I'm like, "Oh, I'm, you don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to," is usually my
Yeah.
first response. And then they're like, "Why?" Because I'm about to tell you how weird I'm really about to get. I'm a professional tin hat wearer. Like that's
Yeah.
literally my introduction.
Yep. At one of these
Yeah.
events, the first one we went to, we got our own tin hats in the welcome package, literally. It's a thing.
That's funny. I was literally thinking about making one. So it's funny that you like and wearing it. I'm sad that I'm gonna be missing the main like mixer because I'm flying in at that time, but
Oh, well, it starts at 5, I think. I don't know how late it's gonna go, but we'll see.
yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
There's always the after party, the before
Yeah.
party, after party. It'll be perfect. We'll be right where we need to be.
Yep. Yep. Bringing the extra.
Yeah. Yeah. I do that well. But and we were also talking about everybody's being wounded, and I had a memo minder the other day of an encounter that I had where I was standing before like hundreds of thousands of people, and all of a
Ooh.
sudden, and they were all like the dark, shadowy figures, like, and just watching, and it was like just crowds and crowds and crowds as far as you could see people. But then all I could see after that was their little like 3-year-old version, 2-year-old version of them. And my
Mm.
heart just melted, and I had so much compassion and so
Oh.
much, yeah, yeah. So like grace, like feeling it. And it's like I've been looking at my outward flections with that same kind of grace and also with myself, that inner child, the key, that's what I'm trying to get to, Christina, the key to the kingdom.
Okay. Okay, we'll go into it.
It's a long walk, but we got
I...
there.
Gosh, that one was, and yeah, this is a good one. A very special moment. A lot of people don't know that I'm still walking out uh, having lost pitifully in the court system, basically being raped, pillaged, and plundered. Ripped, pillaged, plundered, just in case any words or whatever. Um, and it's been a cycle that it's been a journey to close out, but the idea is not necessarily to close out. It was a seed planted and it's been growing for the last 5 years. But my perception, I want to, sometimes I go into this pity party. Sometimes it's like, I can't do this anymore. I reached the end of myself, right? Well, I've also been doing, I have to, but I realize, oh, I'm like, oh, I am what I'm building out. And I didn't like it. I was like, I don't like these feeling. I don't wanna, like, my own 2-year-old was coming out, right? I was feeling those spaces and being honest with myself. I was like, one of the best things that I had done sessions with Dale Alan Hoffman. He's an Aramaic teacher, and one of the things he says that true peace is when everybody comes to the fire and speaks. So that means every little voice, not to entertain, not to absorb. I want to be very clear. That doesn't mean take in and let it rattle in your system. No, it's you are contained in your field and you're listening with reason, with wisdom. You are solid in your bubble and able to listen. Does this ping? Does it what's going on here, right? So there's an inner listening that's going on, that's taking place. Well, that includes our inner child. And everybody has so many different aspects of it. For me, how I see that inner child is how I've raised my kids. They believed what I say. If I said, hey, Christ in you, hello, you little stinker, these bugs, these stink bugs just crawl, like crawl, and I'm being, they smell weird. It's a weird smell. Sorry, that was like distracting because I'm like, really? Um, so child, that inner child is so moldable, but believes so easily. I don't like the negative connotations of like, yeah, they're impressionable or impressionable. You can. It's very much like plasma if you think about it. That plasticity and that moldability. You are forming a God being. You are forming a light being. You may be tapped in on a DNA level to some of your gifting and not. Maybe in some torsion. You are passing that down to your child. And when I started, you know, uh, realizing some of these inner child, I was like, wow, I it really with my kids, they have a healthy inner voice because I they woke up the inner child within me. But I at the time didn't know it. I didn't know what was going on. I was still within the Christian framework. I was still within, so like those concepts weren't really a thing, but I was tapped in on a level. So in a sense, I didn't really lose my kids. It took a while for me to see that. It's more like they went on a voyage, and I remembered chopping up vegetables for soup, and I heard their conversation with Source. Yeah, I'll go. I'll go do this so mom can wake up. I could play that role. And I just like cried. They all agreed together, three of them, all of them. I could hear that conversation. I cried. I was like, okay, this is part of the plan because, in here, you're like, this is not the way it's supposed to be. And everybody tells you, usually the mother wins in the court. Or you might hear, yeah, they're starting to go for dads in the court. You hear all these different opinions. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I felt like a rapid fire anytime I would hear from anybody. Oh, here's a good one. Because you walked away from God, God took your kid.
Yeah. Ouch.
I was like, I knew enough, even though I was already down in the dirt, I knew enough that that's not the creator I serve. That's not the creator that I know.
Come
So
on.
it was already outside the box in a lot of ways. However, um, further along the journey, I went to a Hebrew studies. Uh, these teachers, Ken and Carrie Husband, they put on a thing in Crestone, and they were teaching the sacred languages, and all of a sudden started sharing about the Essenes. And this portal opens up to my left, and I was like remembering I was a light teacher there. I was a teacher. I worked with light. I worked with what you would consider magic. I knew all of these things, and I'm like, like trying to hold in this blubbering cry. Jonathan's looking over at me like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I'm like literally just trying not to burst out, wail. And afterwards, when I told them, they're like, "Oh, we would have been totally fine if you released your sound, but I didn't want to be rude. That's that Christian thing. Don't interrupt. You worship God, and you know what I'm saying? Like it was just so rigid, and for a half hour, I'm crying, I'm remembering, and it was like I saw it all manifest. I poured into my kids. They wakened that. They were the triple flame that came to help me remember. And we created heaven on earth. And I tapped into that inner child in ways that I didn't realize. So re, I'm like, wow, like I remember that. And then um, I had this dream. My daughter Bella, my oldest, I'm with my kids. We're at this house that was along the river. And there was another character that was there that I was a little bit questioning why they were there because I never dream about this person. It's another family member, and an obvious family member. I would have been like, ugh, just like, what are you doing here? But I've always been, oh, whoever wants to come hang out. But I, in my dream, realized there were still some areas I was still allowing myself to shrink.
Mm.
And fast forward, Bella had to go to school, so it was time for her to go to bed. Well, this other person was laying in the bed, head down the other way, and then she was laying in the bed, head this way. So I laid with her and I was facing her on the side. She was on her back. And I could hear the narrative in my mind as she's moving. She lays on her back, but then, like, at me with these, like, big brown doe eyes looking at me. And then she scooches closer and then scooches closer. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, is this family member going to be mad that she's getting close to me? You know what I'm saying? Like this weird narrative, this weird fear that I didn't realize I had subconsciously taken on because of the fear of man and, codependent on other people's reactions and all of that. And I was like, I like ignored, even though I could hear it, I was locked eyes with Bella as she would scoot in, and eventually she was in like a fetal position and face to face with me.
Mm.
And I I woke up and I was just like, whoa, like I remembered the dream and I was like, whoa. And then I just, tears streamed down my face. I could feel on so many levels. It was like the diamond light just illuminated this and this and this and this and this, and then the full picture just came, and I was like, oh my gosh, all from this gem that held the code here, held the code here, held the code here, held the code here. Because if you were to get the full picture right away, my brain would have fried. Like, I love that Source knows we have fragile nervous systems when we don't know why we feel broken, even though that's not the truth. But it's about getting all those concepts off of us and clearing that. You have to do the work. There's still that work. And that was the feistiness because it's like, how long is this work going to take? Like it's like
Yeah.
just so deep and intense. And so for me, that fuller picture was uh, not only coming face to face, it was, yes, move forward move forward with the papers. It has its timing, like perfect
It
timing.
just, yeah, cosigns.
So, because I had been vacillating, I'm at a certain stage with my papers or certain things, and I knew it was me. It was like, am I supposed to just let them go? Like I was in a weird space and not sure. I could feel, because they're in a different environment, energetically, and I could feel that. And I'm like, holy moly! I could see the patterns and the trajectory, and it was like it's and man, I could see it all. So I was vacillating. Do my kids want to be with me? I it just seemed like they were fine, even though I told them, live your life, don't worry about it, mama's got this. And then I'm like reacting to my own words, releasing them. Like, do they want to be? Like, it's so weird. So I was vacillating with that, and I felt like it was a yes. Her inner child, simultaneously mine, me coming face to face to that childlike part. Like, okay, let's do this. And then it also revealed a layer of that family member that's also, I know she's a gentle soul, but just has taken on some of those distortions in the family, and you just kind of go along to get along. And so it's like, wow. I mean, it was a breakthrough. And then I woke up crying, and I'm like in the blubbering, ugly cry. And I come out of the tent, and Jonathan's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, just hold me. So he held me while I cried, and I started processing, and I realized not only did I meet my inner child, like I had birthed her. I birthed. I've had experience birthing a girl out of my belly, not out of the nanas, but out of the belly, like straight out. And it's
Whoa.
symbolic because this is the cosmic seed, right? Our womb area, but it was straight out. It was horizontal. So, and I've watched her grow. I've had different dreams, but now, and it took on like it was Bella, but it was also me. Like it's crazy because that girl, her gene keys, we just my outside is her inside, and my insides are her outside. So I'm kind of glad because I feel like she could have more fun in this world. And she did get that revelation one day. She's like, "Mom, I feel like I remember my other lives. It was a negative life and then a positive life. And then this life, we get to choose. Which one do you want?" She remember, and I'm like, "Holy moly, girl, do you know what you just said?" And she's just swimming in the deep water, just telling me what she heard. And so I knew, like, I, I'm still on that journey. So what is this? So I have that. Let me come back to I'm processing, and I realize because of my codes that I carry, um, and I don't say that lightly because this is not a badge. This is heavy shit. Like crying for no reason. Like this is not like anything to boast about. This is there. I've come into knowing why I am the way that I am, not comprehending why what I am for so long, but coming into that knowledge. So I realized I was like, wow, one of the things that I've had so many people fight me on or question me on in the contract. Well, why haven't you gotten your kids back? Or well, just different perspectives. And I said, look, I've contracted I scanned the universe for the version that I would like to co-parent, not co-parent, deal with, like come face to face with, or that version of who I want to contract with. I created that possibility. I honed in on, yep, this one that's about peaceable communication and for the kids' best interest, and yeah, be yourself. What symbols am I doing? Like, I don't know. It's cool. That was cool. That was way cool. So,
Cool.
um, contracting that version, right? And pause that. When I was processing the whole inner child thing, I was like, well, why did I get locked up? And I realized that this code of me wanting my kids code of a locked up childhood, and those persons involved got lodged into my will. That projection got lodged into my will center, and I saw it clear as day. I was like, oh my gosh, they had locked their inner child up, which is your connection to God, to source, that one said, yeah, let's do this. Come on, let's go. I want to go play. I want to this. Da, 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 da. They had shut down that part, and it got projected on me. And then I struggled to, it was like I was not allowed to want my kids back with me. And I was like, what the fuck? Then I started getting mad, and I was like, fuck this. And, just like going through my emotions, feeling that lodgement of that code, of that ridiculousness. And I was like, bye bye, and processing all of that. And so, fast forward to this necklace, I was doing laundry, and I was like, what the heck? And I was like, what is this? And I'm like, I put it on, and I sent a picture to my daughter, Emma, my youngest. I was like, is this your key? It was in my laundry. And later that day, got home, went to call Bella, or reach out to Bella. I sat there, and it just dropped. The key, the inner child, the key, literally manifested in my now space. Like, I have this as a token of remembrance of that moment. I mean, throughout the day, I would be weepy just seeing face to face my inner child, but she also had Bella's, and there was so many layers to it, and to be able to hear all of it. And I know there's more I'm going to get out of it. So the keys, just take it. Just reach into the screen and take it for yourself, and just unlock that inner child part, stick it wherever, you could scan your body. Does it need to be in the third eye? Does it need to be in your voice, your heart, your will center? Where does it need? And just stick that key and just unlock it.
We just unlock all of it. For us, for them, let's just, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was huge this week. But I'm also like still processing through some of this coursework that I'm creating, and I'm just kind of like feisty in a way of like, I did not foresee this coming, feeling this, and I don't. And what is that? The It's not so much control, it's clarity. So it's having clarity. Oh, I know exactly what the problem is, and I can fix it, but I'm not called to fix it.
Mm.
Sit there, see the possibilities. So here's what I'm saying. Fixing it is energetically allowing my gaze that possibility of them figuring it out. Just like I had to walk through, and now, like, here, take the key, like, for yourself. Not everybody has to go through that kind of a process. It may look different. It may, whatever that is, that's everybody's own soul journey. And, or maybe it is locked up and just needs that code to unlock it by hearing it, by imagining you could see it for yourself, right? You're experiencing it through my journey, but then you could see it for yourself. Now that code starts going in, right? So it's and it's not that I can't ever fix but I can on an energetic level. I can open a morphogenetic field, hold the code there, and when they're ready to listen, boop, there it is. I mean, it could be that, or it could be, creating. There's a lot of layers, and I know that might kind of get confusing, but to see all of it and then transmute it. That's the gaze. That is the power of our perception, our thought. Everybody talks about your thinking, think and getting clear on that, though. It's not just hopeful hopiism. I'm talking about, I know this is where it's a siphon over here. We're going to reverse that current, and it's going to come out this way, and it's going to come through this dimension. It's going to come, there's a lot there to be able to program that space. But it's not like I have to consciously do it. There's something about our gaze and our presence when we're tapped into love. It just does it for you. But there is a special, and I don't even like saying that, there is a duty with coming to this depth of what it means to do grid work and all of that as a calling, why I came. So I say all that to say, remember when I said that being a light teacher in this life is now sound. Like I'm graduating. There is a moving up, graduating, coming into PhD, and then whatever after PhD. I don't know if there's any education after that, but there is moving up. You accumulate all of those skills now coming into sound. So getting to play with sound, and if you think about cymatics is each sound has a shape, and that's what this creates. When this is open to source, connected to source, looping with source, now you are sending out sound waves in a sigil, if you will, a vocal sigil, but I'm also weaving into that this possibility. And it's up to us to say yay or nay. And a lot of it I said yes to. I said yes, yes, yes. But then everything opposite happens, and it's like, I think it's yeah. Like you feel those moments where your bandwidth is like, do we really believe this? And it's like, yeah, yeah, this is correct. This is alignment. This is beyond, when you could see it connect all the way through and you're there holding the line. It's worth it. It's worth all the pain. So it's one of those things where that feistiness is like, nope to that distortion, nope to that siphon, nope to this mind effery, nope to that leak, nope to that belief. I mean, it's just like, holy shit, I didn't realize what I was under in, And then you get to watch cool stuff like an ear chip being pulled out, and it's no longer scrambling your brain. Like, there's things that we don't realize that are being used against us, and we're here to say, hey, and bring awareness to that. Bring be one of the lighthouses. Hey, there's these shores. Come aboard, or come explore this land.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So for me, like, yeah, 100% being a lighthouse and come into these shores, safe harbors.
yeah.
I think in the way that seeing the chip pulled out and seeing those implants or whatever being removed and experiencing that, um, is cool. Like, I feel like for me, it was being able to logically see mentally, like, why I do the things, or no, you know what I'm saying? Like the torsions, as you say, the versions, and seeing that inversions, versions. That's cool.
Ooh,
That's cool.
yeah. That version of you, the
Version,
correct, which the no version, because I am to the word is no in the contract
right?
world, so no version. So you're trying to be a version of something, but you wrote down no version, and it's like you have a hard time embodying it. Yeah, that's good. Love it. Love it.
Wow. For some reason, for me, like, getting the clarity logically, like, frees up my emotional. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so understanding, like, oh, I it helped unlock some kind of like compassion for myself, or you know what I'm saying, and like, oh, okay, now it's safe to swim. Like we were talking about the splinters and the, the leaks or whatever, and it's like to use the continue the storyline of the safe harbors and the lighthouse. It's like those places where the energy would come in, those, the inlands where the waters, the current come in, and it's like sometimes it's choppy water, and it's like logically I know I should just be able to get over here to that, but I can't. Like I can't, because it feels some kind of way in the in between. And
Mhm.
sometimes being able to pull away, like maybe go in a helicopter view and see it from a different perspective. Sometimes me making that logical jump and seeing, like, oh, like when I went to therapy and they were like, Kendra, your brain's wired this way because of these experiences. And then I started looking at that from the helicopter perspective. And I was like, oh, that's why that water feels that way, because there's this thing going on. So it's like being able to look at it and get to the safe harbors and navigate. Like sometimes being able to see the other, jumping in the helicopter or whatever, feel like you're like going into deep, deep places, taking a submarine to look from this angle, going up here. Let's go to the spaceship. Let's look at it from a spaceship perspective. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, I just want to, no matter where you're at in the situation, it's all perfect for.
Yeah. And even a car ride where you don't recognize any of the surroundings because you're driving at night. All you can see is the light beam light lighting up the road. And
Yeah.
I'm, driving up the mountain. I'm like, I don't know where I am because I'm used to the landscape to help me with where I'm at. Okay, we're at these fields. Oh, we're at this. Da, da, da. I couldn't see any of it. I was like, did I pass our street? Like, because I was driving at night. So that's what it feels like when you're going through the shit. You're going through it. It feels like all
Yeah.
I've got are my headlights and I'm just
Mhm.
following the road. I don't know where I'm at. If that's what it is. So there's that perspective too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of it. It's so wild just to think about the whole journey and like hindsight, how hindsight is always 2020. Because man, when I was in my car driving down the road and all I could had was the headlights and everything was dark and scary on the outside. And I was like, what is happening? And I was isolated in my own thought process with me and my inner critic and my childhood trauma in the back seat screaming at me, like everything was a little more, you can't really pay attention to the outside. Like you're just
Yeah.
trying to get down the road, right? Like,
Mhm.
um, but now that it's daylight and I'm seeing a little more clearly and the inner critic's fallen asleep and my childhood drama's been fed and loved and witnessed and seen and taken a nap
Mhm.
also, I get to champion and hear those other voices and all of the things. And it's been really cool how even though nothing's changed, I'm in the same situations, the same paradigms, the same road, the same all of that, mm, the clarity and the way that everything has changed, because now there's the sunlight and all of those things. It's like a totally different experience, but completely different. You know?
We call that the spiral. We spiral. It's you're still coming back through your circle, but a higher perspective. A higher you can like look not so much look down in superiority in a bad way, but that can get distorted quick. But in a way of like gaining the wisdom through all of it. And that's the whole point, to climb the perspective, come back around to this, to keep it in balance so that you're keeping in touch. So you're in this circular dance around the dance floor coming back to those
Mhm.
parts of you and touch, love, and so yeah, that's beautiful. I think, the inner child for me, I didn't realize it was locked up the way it was because of I was tied to external circumstances, and meanwhile witnessing my daughter manifest her wishes and what she wanted to do, and actually moved the family to end up joining her on some level, go to the city where she went to this concert and was able to manifest that. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like what else do you want? Like keep going, keep doing it, like keep holding on to that. And so she's in high school now, so I don't know fully where
What?
I know.
Why did that hit me so hard? High
Yeah,
school?
yeah, I know. It's weird. I don't know where I've been the last 7 years. Like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, I'm like, what the heck did I? I mean,
Oh
even
my
yesterday,
gosh.
I'm in like this twilight zone. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, because it's like when you're so in those realms in truth, and then you come back to you come back to your body, you're like, wait, what am I doing? What am I doing out here? Like, what are we doing? Like, it's a crazy paradigm because it's like you are not just this body, but yet the technology, everything that you are well equipped. I will say that we are well equipped with our bodies. And you were talking about earlier that you had seen, was it military or mass of people that you'd seen them and then you saw their inner child version of them? It's
Yeah.
crazy. When I was in Dallas, last time I was in Dallas, I had a dream where I saw what looked like military, but it was more a mass amount of people. Um, and I realize now with their suits, they know how to use their suits, and they were
Mm.
white, and they had different patterns on them, like so, like a honeycomb or a stripe, and their suits were different patterns, meaning
Oh,
multi-vector, multi-dimensional.
that's so cool.
Yeah, so I'm like,
That
okay.
seems like quite the opposite of my dream. Mine was more like everybody was wearing the Grim Reaper shadow veil, like
Mm,
robe, cloak, the adult version, and it was just hundreds of thousands of people, like as far as I could see. And it was like I'm sure it was some level of hell, like like looking
stop.
at it, explaining it. But it was that realm, like
Yeah.
that underworld, yeah, and I just went in there and I literally was just crying and crying because and I was just releasing forgiveness because I would look at them and I would see all of that, like the bigger shadow being, whatever, but they were just these 3-year-old babies, these 2-year-old babies, and
Mm,
I just wanted to love them. And, you know, I did. I just released and cried and mothered and
that how I think it's so cool that we're having this conversation because look at the white sweater I'm wearing, and then you're wearing like a gray black sweater, so the light and shadow. So both
that's Libra.
spectrums. Yeah, so both sides and balancing it because yes, we all have had those parts of us that are have been tangled up that are in a
Mhm.
hell version, and I walked through that. And then you being the relationship alchemist that you are, not being afraid, unmovable, like I'm going, whoa. And then the other part calling us, so calling us higher out of the hellish, the hella, and then the going even higher. Like I just see you like both ends both
Yeah.
ends of the spectrum, that polarity, but then bringing it back to it all. Because even I got lost in the light. I would be disembodied, could share all this stuff, but I couldn't do anything. I was stuck for a while. I would escape my body because the pain of what I had gone through really hurt. You know, your children, your inner child. Now the realization of like, oh my gosh, this code locked up my will. Like that's it. A chip. That's it. That's the only thing stopping me, scrambling the signal. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, it was like so freeing and furious all at the same time, you know. So it's like a lot of times that's what it is. It comes down to it's just programming. It's just an idea, and that's what's not so scary. But that idea has power, and we're flipping the version that we came here to live out to, according to our DNA template. You came here with gifts, and you know, we're going to go to that level of the playing field. We're not going to a religion. We're not going to a government system. We're not going into those identities. We're going to your DNA blueprint and calling that forward because there are technologies that we have been uh, moved away from, and it's time to bring all that back. You know, healing, wholeness. There's a world beyond that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? A world beyond, like where everybody's healed? Oh, okay, what are we gonna do now? Like I'm
Yeah.
already like way ahead, like and I heal myself. I heal this pain or I heal this or you know, I fell yesterday and I got this bruise. I'm like, oh my gosh, like it could almost feel like it's broken, but I know it's not. That's just being me being dramatic. But I was so I was not even upset about falling on my arm. I have this really cool wool sweater. They call it a seafarer. It's those kind of sweaters that you could be out on sea. It's so thick that the wind doesn't. It's cool. It's like having your own sheepskin on you. You just have this thick wool. Well, I fell down and because it was raining yesterday, and he had been mixing concrete, and the spot that I stepped on didn't look super wet, but it was wet underneath. So I slid down. I fell down. So I got mud on my favorite sweater. I was more sad about that than hurting my body because I was like, it'll heal itself.
I've definitely done that. I literally remember scratching my leg on the back of the couch, and I was pissed that there was a hole in my pants and not in my skin because I knew my skin was going to repair. But these pants are not.
Oh my gosh. How I mean, like that's high thinking, high levels of thinking. Oh, this body heals. It heals just fine.
Yeah.
It has all the codes there. We're gonna unlock it, open it up, you know, whatever.
Well, I mean, we started learning the basic codes. It's fascinating because Nicholas has been walking around talking about what does it mean faith without works is dead because that's what he keeps hearing. And when you were talking, I felt like because you kept saying you got to do the work, you got to do the work, and I'm like, that's the works, because I would see it as faith without works, like faith. You can have these ideas, or as you were talking about, you can go to the light and you can see it, but if you're disembodied, you can't. You know what I'm saying? You're locked up. That's why it's dead. Like, it's no matter what side, even if you're on the shadow side and your trauma and stuck in those loops, or lost in the light, either way, this life, even as Bella so eloquently put it, here we're sent here to choose, like, what are we going to do, what are we, you know and it's fascinating how it all came back to. And it's cool how we get to program our levels of thinking, that we're upset that the pants are not going to sew themselves because we know that we're going to heal and heal ourselves, like whatevs, like,
Yeah.
how cool is it that that's where we get to bring our body and our vessel and our thinking, like forward thinking, like you're talking about, like what are we going to build when we're there? What does that look like? And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
struggle, Christina, when like you talk to me about the Bob Proctor thing, and you're like, what do you want? What are the things? And I'm like, I just want a level. I just envision like there's a place where we all win. Like, I don't know what, but that right there, that's what I'm aiming for. That's where I'm forward thinking to. Let's do that.
Yeah.
You know? How do you put that into contract? How do you put that on paper? Like that's my 5-year uphill climb. Like, unlocking my inner child. What does that look like? What does that feel like? What is that?
Yeah. I think it's
Yay!
we I think it's funny that because even though we're building this really cool dome and he built a basement underneath, so instead of the dome being like a foot off of the ground, he decided to make it 12 feet off the ground. So we have this basement and we're going to move into there this winter. And so it's been crunched to get it all done. And I stood while he's, putting the plywood down and building whatever, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm so excited we're building all this, but I'm also like, still want that house on the beach. Like, it's cool to go through the experience of building something together and co creating. And we want this here, we want that there because of the land, keeping the rawness of it, right? And there's a eating style that goes along with it, there's a thinking style that goes along with it. I mean, for me, I feel like that isolation that a lot of us go through. And if you're in that stage, that's good. Why? I say that because a lot of times when we isolate, we're trying to get clear in our own sphere and get all these siphons off of us, all of these ideas, these cords and everything. It's a chance to, like, let me just come back to me and myself. What do I really think? Because we're constantly influenced by what is said. There's all these word spells coming into our sphere. And being out here when you're hanging out with yourself and you're like, oh, that's not a good thought. Oh, I like this. Oh, I'm on to something here. And you start running with it. And because nature is just showing growth, growth and cycles. And right now we're going through the cycle of everything getting wet and colder, and so now transferring. Okay, we got to get out of this tent and down into our little basement that we're building, and with the root cellar, learning a whole different way of refrigeration, the idea of refrigeration. So it's like all, you know going outside the norm of the way, but yet appreciating, I still see us in a beach house. I still see I do want to uh be by the water. We want to travel. Like, we're down to go global. We're down to move around because there are different energies in different areas. And I would love to experience that. He told me about Nicaragua and the energy down there and the food down there. They went into a
Oh,
natural detox because the food is clean. They don't GMO their shit, They grow everything naturally, and you've got this expertise or skill of farming, and it shows up in their food. So
yeah.
energy matters, and it's like, okay, we're ready to venture out. And you've been to India, and right now, I'm we love Indian food, like the spices and everything. Like, we're just like in that stage right now, and then learning about how the Maharashtra, those books are actually a translation of some sort that directly tie into the CDT plate. So I'm like, ooh, but there's like 500 volumes, and I don't know if we have access to all of it, but it'd be cool to read that, to even get like the heart of it and come back to remembrance and all of it. So anyway, I'm like, I'd rather that be my kids' school when the day comes when they can come back to me. That'll be their school because the energetics of who you are and the wealth, the abundance is energy. It's the focus that you put your gaze on. What are you doing? And then everything will be added unto you, you know? Oh, it's like I don't move away from the Bible. I just went deeper. I just went to go collect the
Yeah.
parts that are missing because it's all been
Yeah.
manipulated. Everything in our world, this is a, I don't like to say simulation. It all goes back to code. It goes back to what's programming that space. Who programmed that space? Who programmed this idea that we had to worship Jesus? And I'm sorry if that steps on toes, but there's a reason why I say that. And I encourage anybody to ask that question because Jesus himself ain't threatened by it. He wants you to ask the question. So, like I go back to what, like to make it human, it's like if you ask the kid's dad about me, you're not going to hear a good version of me, maybe. I don't know. But if you ask Kendra, if you ask Jonathan, or if you ask my close friends, they're going to, be raving about me. So it's like, who are you asking? So it's like, go to the man himself, not what this narrative says.
Mm.
And yeah, there's technology that's also there, and through all of that it's so much more. It is and that's what I told myself last night as I was kind of processing. I was like, you know what, it's gonna be better than I think. I'm glad that I can bank on because source is always outdoes us. It's, it's high frequency, higher than my mind can really take right now, and that I can bank on. So that's the word of the day. Think on yourself, get to know you, know thyself, heal thyself, create that version that you want, and don't get sucked into the inversion. Flip that around and cast off with the version that you want to be. And I know what that's like, trying to become that, that journey of becoming, because, I'm Capricorn rising, and I've witnessed a lot of Capricorns. I'm like, I don't like that. That ain't a leader to me. I don't want to be that kind of leader, and so it's like coming back to that divine masculine, that gentleman, that gentle leader, yet strong. And our gaze is so powerful. Jonathan showed me the other morning. He's like, look at this video. And it's this girl, I guess she was autistic, and she was like losing herself. And her teammates, they didn't know what to do. They were in their own, you could see the chaos. And then they show this guy, and I think they knew each other, but he's like an older gentleman, more solid in himself. And he was just looking. They made it look like he was looking longer. I don't know, drama, right? But he walked over to her and just looked at her. She's like, you got this. You're okay. He mirrored the version she needed to remember. He mirrored that part of her that is calm. But the other people, they were like, I don't know what to do. I don't know, and she's like, no, who's steady? Who's safe right now? I don't feel safe. I can't see me. And so that divine masculine shows up, and he just held her. He just became the thing that she needed to remember. And I was like, wow, that's it. That's it.
Yeah. Like that's the real purpose for mirror neurons right there, not to be hijacked
Mm,
and programmed to what,
remember.
to the inversions, but to hold that steady, that gaze. I was just listening to I follow this parenting style, teaching style on YouTube. It's called Conscious Discipline, and it's a
Okay.
whole nother paradigm of like being with children. And it even helped me with myself and my inner child. um but they were talking exactly about what you were just saying, like the best way to deal with, like they were talking about from a teacher perspective, going and dealing with like an unruly child. walking down there, the best thing you can do is get yourself together and get your space together and start, blessing that child and start thinking good things about that child before you even get there. And then you're that safe space, so then all you do is sit next to the child. You don't even say anything. You let that child feel your frequency. You let that child feel your safe, calm, and then you'll notice their shoulders will drop. You can see their levels of thinking getting out of their survival monkey brain, going into the higher
Mhm.
levels, now being available to this, have access to their cognitive thinking. Their shoulders drop, their body's able to respond. Now you're able to have these conversations, even if it's a simple "you got this," and I was like, that's so, yeah.
Yeah. And she was immediately just like calmed down, was able to just calm and tune into his resonance because he held a strong frame. And that is what we all are doing for ourselves and sometimes collectively and sometimes in whatever venue you're a part of and sometimes whatever community you're a part of. And I there was a part of me that was resisting. I don't want the drama anymore. I don't want it. And then I was like, but wait a minute. How are we to be loved? Because it feels sticky, tanglement. I easily got tangled in all of that. And I didn't, I'm like, wait a minute, I can't go back to that. And it's like, well, but wait a minute. When you realize you're the diamond beam on the macro and the micro level, the macro being no distortion can even touch you because it's shadowy and it's complete light. And on the physical scale, on the Richter, I think it's called the Richter scale, something I remember from geology class, that the diamond is like a 7 or 8. It's like the hardest material on the hardness scale. And so diamond being on a macro level, you can't pierce that. But then on a micro level, the light that it casts, depending on what fractal and what codes are there, and that's where it can get manipulated. But if people don't know the micro within your body, all the micro that's going on, we could see the macro. We could see all this system, that system, the news, what's on the television, this going on, that going on, the recent killing going on. That's all macro, not realizing you're the diamond beam, but it's dealing with the micro. They're changing the light here. They're switching, they're skewing this. They're putting a cord on here and they're siphoning your energy just by you being emotional and being wobbly, and you're the battery charging that system. So when you start realizing that, like, wait a minute, no. And so my saying now is like, contain your field, contain your field. Be like that container. You've got this. Nothing's coming in or out. Only what I let out and only what I let in. I
Hmm.
close the lid on it. So, uh, yeah, just the idea of like the inner child, though. I feel like coming back around to the inner child, because I was like, well, I didn't really know what that was, but it's like how with my kids, because if you look at my kids, they're good. I'm like, they're good, but that confused me. I'm like, so do I not get them back? Like, I mean, it was that jaded in my mind because they're good, I'm good, there's no separation, it's just a little bit of distance when they turn 18, whatever. Because it was like, what was what was blocking us is somebody's volition, right? And it's like, well, if you start waking the giant in that, and it's like, well, no, they're not the giant. They're a little wounded inner child. And so that it's crazy, like the different perceptions of the inner child can be on the wounding side, but then it could be on the playful side. And so I got to experience more of the playful instead of the wounding because I felt like I was just this wounded little girl always, and it's like, I'm done with this. I'm done. I'm done. I know too much now. You know, it's time to grow up. It's time to, but I want to keep that. Let's go play. You know, like I'm excited. We're going to a Galaxy Ball on Saturday night, and we're dressing up 80s. I'm like, this is going to be so much fun to just
Yeah.
dress up, be around other people that get this message, and dance like no one's watching, because I truly
Yeah.
can. I'm not watching me, watching my every move, and like, why are you moving that way? Who cares? This ain't about being on beat. This ain't about looking professional. This ain't about any of that. It's about allowing the energy that you feel, and you just move with it.
I feel like we need a little
Let's
DJ
get this
booth.
party started. Later.
What did it say?
It said, let's get this party started. See you later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, we've been at it an hour 25. That's right,
yeah.
Mindy. Mindy put some dancing in an exclamation.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, thanks for all who tuned in, and may the source be with you on this day, because there's no force in source. That's Dr. Samuel Bealey, by the way. Go check his stuff out. It really, he carries that divine masculine code
Yeah.
in such a way of his deliverance, his delivery, and all of that is on point. You can definitely uh, he doesn't in microdoses, I feel like, and then he's got some longer ones, and I love the, like, I think there was one on Jesus recently, the real Jesus, that, oh, I got, because I listened to it twice, I got another, so there's that spiraling, right? You spiral to listen, and then you start simulating it, right? It starts simulating in the body, and then it opens up new thinking, and then you come back around it, and then it opens up even more thinking because it's building on that momentum. And when I listened to it the second time, what he said about a lot of these archetypes are do I want to say this? Because that's not what I was didn't think that's why I was bringing it up. Okay, I guess I'm going to say it. So what he was saying was a lot of because there are false systems out there. There are false light. There's systems that feel like you're tapping in, but really you're being siphoned into a false light. And what do I mean by that? The mathematics. I want to keep it. It just goes back on the math. That it's not like it's this demon, or it's just the coding. It's the way that it's programmed. So the Fibonacci, I'll use this as an example. The Fibonacci, or fib of no chi, it's a lie of no chi. And then there's a Christic spiral. So the Christic spiral goes this way. Well, that Fibonacci spiral spirals alongside of it, but it comes to a dead end. So these plants in our body, there's coding here that we think death is part of the cycle, and it's not. Death in the sense of, like, we can remove things, like things go through their cycle, but we are everlasting being. We are eternal. We are self-generating. We don't die. Like, why in the Bible times did they say, like, they lived 1,000 years, 900 years, and it's just our DNA has been mutated to go down and down, and we're kind of coming back to, like, maybe 80, 90. Like, some church friends of ours that we grew up with, I found out they're like 95 and 94, and I'm like, I haven't heard that in a while, and I was like, oh, I'm tapping into that. But they're both very strong-willed people, so that is like my model sample of speak your truth, speak it out. So I say all that to say that there are light that are just mathematically not just come to a dead end. And then there's the eternal spiral. So some of these concepts that we think, oh, I'm this character or I'm influenced by this kind of thinking. And it's like, well, you can go back to source. You can go to a higher form. Or, go to, it's between you and source. It's the eternal closed circuit loop of you feeding from source and you returning what isn't of you back to source. Like, okay, I'm not going to carry that anymore and giving it back to source, as opposed to letting this other person and their codes come in on your field. You could take the good, I see the good representation, but I came with my own codes and I want to bring that forward. I'm a part of who God is. I am. And then it's going to come through whatever these next stages are after the self healing, after the finally clicking into place. This is in my DNA template, and it's lofty, lofty. I'm like, what? I don't know. That just seems. I don't. I'm not big on titles. I'm not big on identity. Blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dishonoring. I'm not honoring what God's created me to be. But it isn't just
Mhm.
me. I didn't realize my thinking was that low to question the amazingness of who God is. And I'm a part of that. This vessel is
Mhm.
a part of that. This vessel carries those codes. What? Because if you knew what was going on in my mind, you wouldn't be giving
Yeah.
me this duty. But that's kind of the point. And it's like it's not about that. It's about tapping in, and that's what I know. I kind of keep dancing around it, but I'm maybe we could start breaking open some of the material that we're studying to start anchoring this in and break it open bits and bits because it's very advanced. It's a very in-depth reading, but that's my skill is taking complex things and it's the quantum grammar that helped break that part open. And the fact that, we all have part Andromedan and Andromedans are known to get PhDs in everything. PhD on making something like this, a PhD on fashion, PhD on designing water jugs, PhD on bring. I mean, they just sell their life of school. I'm like, that feels like home. But that's just a part of me, and that's a part of you. That's a part of so. There's like no excuse, and that's what we're here to bring. No excuses. Bring back our feistiness. Like nope to that distortion, and yes to what are we here to do?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Literally yesterday, I was sitting out there and I was like, what am I doing to be of service to humanity? Like, what? What am I doing? And then I was like, and I had all these cards sitting in front of me. So I was like, and I was just saw the community card, everybody bringing what they have to the table and hosting community. And I was like, I am very good at that. That is a service. So even hosting spaces like this. And then I saw me putting this newsletter out to all of the people who come to all of these things and all of the businesses, all of the people that I go to, all of and building this network. So it's fascinating that I kept accidentally saying the Bridge Network, and you're like, network, I like that. I'm like, maybe that's what it is, like that's
Mhm.
the service,
Yeah.
putting the net
And
out there.
yes, and correcting the net that's already there. There's a ley lines
Yeah.
on Mother Earth, the planet. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
nervous
That's a
system.
whole different. That's a whole different.
Yeah.
But yes, yes, that I'm 100% because I was like, Kendra, let's be real. You have value even when you're sleeping because of the codes that you carry. Like, you don't have to do shit. Like, you are of service to humanity. But it's like, no, like, I have all of this knowledge in technology. I have all this knowledge in building community. So, in what ways there am I? Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. No. No apologies necessary. I love it all. And it's just funny you were asking that question yesterday, the same I so I'm like, whoa, I just feel that strong connection, for whatever it is we're doing. There's such a where is your midheaven on your chart? Do you know?
Capricorn.
What? Of
Yeah,
course.
in my seven, eight, ninth house, I think. I think Capricorn's my ninth house, and that's where my midheaven is. Yeah,
That's
because
wild.
Sagittarius is my eighth house.
Okay. Mine is in between 10th and 11th, like right on that cusp.
Hmm.
Libra, right in between career and community. So it's just fascinating that you hold the piece for community, but then the public, the work, that's been, over 40 years in the making to finally put myself out there as a public whatever. I mean, I tried to 7 years ago, but no, apparently there was a lot more I needed to gather.
But that's okay because we were
Yeah.
building cool, kick-ass skills. Like we've been
Yeah.
doing really, really cool things behind the scenes, and so it's all part of a beautiful
Yeah.
journey. What is the ninth house, though?
The ninth house is, hold on. So Libra,
No, like
what's
what does it
before?
represent?
Oh, the ninth house is philosophy. Philosophy. Uh, I don't like to say religion, but your spiritual beliefs.
I thought that was the eighth house.
The eighth house is like your assets, financials, part of your financials, like your legacy. And then seventh house is relationships, legal contracts. Sixth house is health, service to humanity. And then yeah, ninth
I don't
house is
have anything in my
philosophy.
sixth house. Okay. I,
Okay.
I think I was getting it confused because the Sagittarius is my eighth house. So it's like all that philosophy, all of that stuff. So mine's just kind of like, you know what I'm
Cusp.
saying?
Yeah, cusp
Yeah.
on all of that. Yeah.
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 It's fun though, learning these codes to how our vessel, like what we, like I love astrology for that. Like we were talking about the technology, seeing how computers are made, websites, doing all of that, seeing all of the coding, and then learning astrology. I'm like, it's literally the energy patterns and coding. And then to take it the one step further and do the human design and all of the things. It's the most fascinating thing and journey of ever. It's
It is.
so cool.
It is. And it helps ground how vast we are, how connected we
Yeah.
are.
And I feel like that is another vantage point or another paradigm to which you can look at that, even in that scenery we were painting earlier, the safe house, the water, the land, all of those things. You know what I'm saying? That we can call ourselves
Mhm.
the nation of us. But it's like another logical perspective that I got to use to map me out to understand. Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's so
And
good.
then and then after we go to this bridge, because a lot of people have activated a lot of those levels, I'm curious, yeah, what's gonna come about afterwards in the sense of like I'm not really seeking to go to all these conferences anymore because I've fully could yeah, when you meet that version of yourself, when you now are in creator mode, it's like the seeking stops. Like I don't listen to videos anymore like I used to. Like for 15 years I would study and listen and listen and listen. Now I'm like I want to listen to my own voice. I want to listen to my own sound. I know I've cleared it's been cleared and manifest that. So it's like leveling up. And also there are people that have strong voices and to be around that. Okay, active, come online. Yes, I remember what that feels like because being in that field, like you know what I was remembering also, Jeff Randall, when I went to that mansion for the I don't even
Power
power
school.
school.
Mhm.
It really is a thing when you're in somebody else's field
Mhm.
and they say yes, remember, remember the codes. Dude, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm already the thing that I'm looking for. I'm like, okay. And I see it all coming together. And so when I really got to see face to face my inner child, my daughter, the yes, 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 it was like, yes, 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 yes. Like the energy, the frequency is yes, we're going, and not worrying about how it's all going to get paid for, and not worrying about how it's all going to come together, and not worrying if there comes a time where I got to be a breatharian, I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that.
It
So I don't.
means no worries.
Oh my goodness. Okay, 140.
Yeah.
I know we keep talking, but
It's so
yeah,
easy. So easy.
yeah.
All right. Should we cut it
Blessings
here?
on your day, and
Yours as
yeah,
well.
have a great week, you guys. And we'll see you next
Yes.
Sunday from Dallas. We'll pick a
Yes.
spot. We'll go live. Maybe we can get some guest appearance by certain individuals. Maybe
That
we could
would be
ask.
fun.
Maybe let me peer into who that is gonna fold open. That would
Hey,
be like way cool. I just like that just
way
like came
cool.
in. Like we could ask.
Yeah.
We could ask. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna open the field for that. I have a couple of people in mind. Can
Yeah.
we? Oh my gosh, I'm like
Why
getting all
not?
excited. Well, I'm just thinking,
It'll
yeah,
fold
how I'm
open.
gonna. Oh, that bug is like looking at me, scratching his leg. Oh, I gotta get that thing out.
I love you guys.
Oh, have a good day. Love
Wait.
y'all.
Oh, we're getting asked when we go live. So we are try to do the conversations. We shoot for church, whatever this is, whatever you want to call this. We are aiming to do this Sundays at 10 o'clock Eastern.
7
We're
Pacific. 7
7 Pacific,
Pacific.
and anywhere else you may find you in that time zone reference. So,
It is.
um,
There is like a 15-minute window we try to stick within. So,
yeah,
yeah.
just show up at 10 and we'll show up around there too. Sometimes on time, sometimes it's the perfect time.
Yeah.
So that's that with us, Mindy. And I am getting a like schedule together for other opportunities when we'll be on live calls or Zoom calls or wherever, so that you can jump into. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to be putting a link sign up on my website soon, so that everybody can stay in the know. Yeah. Love you. Oh, it's
Have a good
143. It's
day.
perfect timing.
Oh
Okay,
my
you too.
gosh! Yay! 18. Oh my gosh. Okay. Love y'all. Have an awesome day.